The NCAA has decided to expand March Madness from 68 to 76 teams. This will take place starting next year. From what I have seen, the 10 through 13 seeds will now all be decided in a play-in style format, similar to, again, the 6 and 11 seeds that they've done. There will now be 12 games played in the first 2 days of the tournament. I've seen a lot of media outlets, Levi, saying that this is great for the sport, saying that mid-majors will get more spots. But I myself, who am a mid-major fan, believe that this is just more of a money grabbing for the NCAA to have more Power 4 teams to get in. But what are your thoughts on this expansion? Was it needed, not needed? Like, what do you feel?
I think reality, if anybody asks why these things happen, it's because of money. NCAA, there's been a lot of changes in the past decade, not just in basketball, but in football and all their sports. They've arguably are getting greedy, but it can still be a great benefit. I mean, the NFL playoff, the college football playoffs have been incredible with their expansion and gives more teams opportunity. It kind of sounds like that's kind of what they're going for here. And correct me so if I'm wrong, but you mentioned play-in, so it sounds like to me this is supposed to be like a similar fashion to how the NBA does their play-in games going into the playoffs.
No,
Is that right?
it's similar to. Do you remember like how like the six and like certain 6 seed and 11 seed teams will have like teams to decide like how
Correct.
like
You're
when they get in? Same
right.
format.
Well, because like that's the first four in
Yes,
format, correct?
and now
Yeah.
it's like the
So
now it's like the first like 12. I think it's so or however they're going to pronounce it now.
yeah, so it's very interesting. The only thing I'm really wondering from this is with a further expansion to March Madness, does this indicate that they're going to play less games in the regular season? Is this going to
No,
be wrongful on the season? Okay.
no.
So if they're keeping things consistent, I suppose this is going to be a great benefit. The only downside I could really see is just by playing these additional games, the wear and tear on the athletes occurs far sooner. Whereas some of these guys, they're going to guarantee their spot and have plenty of opportunity. But for those guys that are just mean outside, now they have to play some additional games, to secure their spot into the tournament. So, but I personally think it'll be interesting. I think that's kind of how every NCAA fan for any sport has been with these expansions for playoffs.
Yeah. I'm just personally against it. I thought that the way that March Madness was set up already was totally fine. It's a month-long tournament. It's completely awesome. The field of 68 is an awesome thing to have. But to just expand to 76, I just feel like it's unnecessary. Now, I just think too, is the fact that this is just the NCAA's attempt to really try and go forward and like try and make more money from like these regional sites because these are NCAA regulated hosted events. I just don't understand like why you want to have like 8 more teams in it. Like I've seen some people like, oh, this is great. This is what the fans asked for. It. The fans didn't ask for this. The fans wanted more representation for mid-major teams. Like, shoot, we had Bruce Pearl sitting up on the pedestal saying that a 17-16 Auburn team should have made it into the postseason over an undefeated Miami, Ohio team. Like, what are we talking about? Like, we need to have better teams, aka better mid-major teams, make it in over mediocre to bad Power 4 teams. And Levi, we've had this discussion before. I'd rather have a fantastic, good mid-major team be an 8, 9 seed, 10 seed, 11 seed, 12 seed, whatever it might be, over a bad Power 4 team that was on the bubble, on the cusp, but they got in because of the fact that, oh, but look at their schedule. Who do they play? Who cares? Like it doesn't matter who they play. It matters along the lines of like, how do you fare in those games? Like, do you win those games? Do you lose those games? Like all the other statistics that go with it. I just hate the fact that now we're just promoting more mediocrity and more bad teams that shouldn't be in it, and over, really, in my opinion, mid majors who, like, really, when you look at the Missouri Valley Conference, like your Drakes, your Northern Iowas, or you go to the A10 with your Daytons and your Creightons and all those teams, like Loyola Chicago, like those are phenomenal teams that I would love to watch in March Madness, but we're not going to get that because I'm going to watch a let's say an 18-16 Minnesota Golden Gophers team make the tournament. Woo. I'm so excited for that. I don't want that.
Yeah, I also have to mention the biggest problem. I think we covered this during the season as well. Is the inclusion of NIL. Nowadays these schools are getting paid, these players are getting paid, and now we're going to be seeing a lot of players, get paid to go play for a certain school. That I think when we discussed it is the tournament overall going to be ruined by the NIL. We're going to look at these top teams like the Kentuckies, like the UNC, like Duke. They're gonna get all these star-studded players, and their teams are just going to continue to improve. Whereas some of these mid-major schools, they're not going to have as much funding as these guys to bring in some of the best players, which goes into our argument is like, well, is this all completely ruined by NIL? We're gonna there's not going to be as many shocking outcomes, as many Cinderella stories of these teams that are in that mediocre range, beating some of the teams that you know we know from their history are incredible and are pretty much like the Goliath in this situation. They're an impossible team to take down. And so with them including NIL, it seems like now they want to get into expanding the tournament as well, so that hey, yeah, we're gonna let these teams, we're gonna let them pay their players, pay to go grab these guys, but we don't want to lose the mid majors completely, or at least attempt to. So let's expand it a little bit further, so that way we can give those teams the opportunity. But then we can narrow it down once it gets to the actual tournament. That hey, now we have all of like our best teams out there playing in this tournament. So I suppose in some aspects, yes, it is truly a good thing, but there's definitely a lot of bad to it, and I think it really just has to stem from the massive changes that college sports are having with the NIL, and that sounds like that's probably why they're going this route.
Right. Again, we'll have to see. Because again, like well, we don't know what those changes will look like. We'll have to wait till next March to see what those changes look like. So hopefully, again, in the future, we see how everything's going to fare moving forward with March Madness when it gets to that point next March.